You wrote this book, The Client-Centered Law Firm. So you wrote this book pre-pandemic, am I right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so I know it's obviously the client-centered law firm, so it was probably pretty spot on for the pandemic. But so, what are some of the specific lessons from the book that you feel are particularly relevant right now?
Yeah. So what's kind of interesting about the book is I actually think it's more relevant today than it was even pre-pandemic, because the message of the book is basically so much of the way legal services are delivered and the way they're priced and packaged today is a function of the way they've been priced and packaged for generations now. And overall, it's in a way that is very lawyer centric. And even if you look at something as foundational to legal as the billable hour, I'd argue that's actually a construct that is very, very lawyer centered. But, as Seth Godin put it at ClioCon, no client ever woke up with a billable hour problem that needs solved. They woke up with a problem that needs solved by a lawyer that can help them solve it. And it's really developing deep empathy for that problem your client is trying to navigate and trying to solve, and creating everything you're doing, creating your entire business model and your service delivery model in a way that is centered around the client's needs. So the message of the book at a high level, is like, hey, let's tear up the way that legal services have been delivered for generations now and rethink it from the ground up, and rethink it from the ground up in a way that helps us not only deliver better legal services to the 23% of consumers that are having their needs serviced by lawyers today, because we can do better there, but it's not a zero-sum game either. It's not just how do you apply this thinking to go win a larger chunk of that 23% market. How do you apply this thinking to go tap into this vast, what I describe as the latent legal market, the 77% of legal issues that go unaddressed by lawyers? And if we can do that, it's actually $1 trillion opportunity. The legal spend in the U.S. is $437 billion per year, and that is the 23% slice that is above the waterline, so to speak. Do the math. We've got a market opportunity that is 4 times larger if we figure out how to tap into this latent legal market. And sure, things will need to be priced and packaged differently to tackle that market, but it is without question a multi-$100 billion opportunity to grow legal to be bigger and higher impact than it is today. So the reason I say the book is actually more relevant than ever, amidst the pandemic and post-pandemic, is the rule book kind of got torn up for us. It's no longer, hey, go disrupt this way you were doing business and try this new thing, which is like obviously a much bigger lift. Your business has already been disrupted. We're already in a new world. You're going to need to rebuild, anyhow. Let's build back better. Let's apply this client-centered thinking to the way that we are designing and delivering legal services going forward. And the book provides you a blueprint for how to rethink the way that you're delivering legal services. And really, the book is a distillation of my decade plus in legal, working with thousands of law firms, working with some of the best run law firms in the world, and extracting what helped them really stand apart from the crowd. And the common thread I saw in virtually all of the law firms I was working with that were these really high performance law firms was what I started to recognize as this very client-centered DNA and how they thought about their services, how they thought about their offering. And I'll conclude on that note, maybe highlighting one important distinction in being client-centered versus client-first. And this is a mistake a lot of people make, understandably, is thinking that being client-centered means putting your clients first. but it's really not about that. And the reason I don't like the frame of saying you're putting your clients first is that it obviously implies that something else is coming second, third, and fourth. And that might be your own livelihood. That might be your own quality of life. That might be your staff's quality of life. And the reality is that when you're being truly client-centered, and again, these can be deploying things that are really tactical, like accepting credit card payments, developing a client portal, taking subscriptions from your customers rather than upfront payments or billable hour payments. These are all things that can actually be a huge win-win-win for you and your clients, and at a macro level for access to justice. And that's, I think, the really exciting opportunity that client-centered thinking presents, which is to develop a model for your law firm that will make your clients happier and actually make you more profitable and more successful. And when we're really executing at a high level, we're actually making our legal services more accessible, more affordable, and more consumable, and increasing access to justice as a side effect.